Hello and welcome to the World News on VOP TV. I am Sumto Ajamma. We begin the world news with India's Supreme Court today granting bail to Javed Ghulam Nabi Shaikh, who has been held in custody for 4 years without trial under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Justices J.B. Pardiwala and Ujjal Bhuyan criticized the National Investigation Agency (NIA) for delaying the framing of charges against Shaikh. The court was considering an appeal filed by the defendant challenging a Bombay High Court decision in February 2024 that denied their request for bail. The defendant was arrested by Mumbai police in 2020 based on classified documents which reportedly led to the discovery of forged currency believed to be from Pakistan. Subsequently, the NIA assumed control of the investigation and revealed that the appellant had traveled to Dubai in February 2020 and had allegedly received counterfeit currency there. In response to the NIA's request for additional time, the court declined any postponement of proceedings, emphasizing the urgency of the matter. As a condition of bail, Shaikh must reside in Mumbai and report to the NIA's offices bi-weekly. The court instructed also the prosecuting agency not to undermine justice and affirmed that despite the seriousness of the allegations against the accused, he has a right to a timely trial. Additionally, the court noted that 2 co-accused had already been arrested and had been granted bail, with 1 bail order currently being challenged before the Supreme Court. Today, the Philippines military chief demanded that China pay 60 million pesos, which is equivalent to $1 million in damages incurred during a violent confrontation between its Coast Guard and Filipino troops in the South China Sea last month. China Coast Guard personnel, armed with pikes and machetes, punctured Philippine boats and seized firearms in the June 17th incident near Second Thomas Shoal, locally known as Ayungin and called Ranai Jiao by Beijing. 1 Filipino sailor lost a finger in the clash, the 3rd such encounter this year in which Philippine personnel have been hurt on missions to rotate and resupply troops stationed at Second Thomas Shoal. The compensation does not include the cost of surgery for the Filipino soldier who lost a finger, said Bronner, who outlined his demand for compensation in a letter to Beijing. Bronner made the comments after a command conference between military officials and President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., in which security challenges and threats facing the Southeast Asian nation were discussed. Britain's National Crime Agency has for the first time asked a court to permanently seize funds held by a Russian oligarch, arguing that they are proceeds of crime because he allegedly moved the money in violation of the sanctions regulations. The agency, known as the NCA, applied on May 1st for a forfeiture order for 1.1 million British pounds from Peter Aven, a billionaire who the UK says has been involved in supporting the government of Russia during its war in Ukraine. The money has been frozen since the UK sanctioned Aven in 2022. The NCA believes it has now gathered enough evidence to prove the funds are derived from criminality, in this case, allegedly shifting money to evade sanctions. The application to the Westminster Magistrates Court is precedent-setting, according to Helen Taylor, a senior legal researcher at the advocacy group Spotlight on Corruption. Though his lawyer, Aven, declined to answer questions about the NCA's forfeiture application. And in addition to the UK, Aven has been sanctioned by the US and the European Union, which says he has close links to the Russian President Vladimir Putin, dating back to the early 1990s. You're still watching the World News on VOP TV. More stories after the break.
Catch up with the latest topics making the buzz, the stories that tick, the trends. Let's let you in on why they are trending, from politics, entertainment, business, lifestyle, and more. analyzing the trending stories with top eyeballs. Hashtag on Voice of the People Television, giving you an insight to everything and everyone Nigeria is talking about. Showing on VOP TV, 10 p.m. Monday to Friday. Hashtag if it's trending, we bring it on.
Welcome back. The Ukrainian army has retreated from an area on the outskirts of Chasiv Yar, a strategically important town in the eastern Donetsk region, which was reduced to rubble under a month-long Russian assault. Chasiv Yar lies a short distance west of Bakhmut, which was captured by Russia last year after a bitter 10-month battle. For months, Russian forces have focused on capturing Chasiv Yar, a town which occupies a strategic elevated location. Its fall would put nearby cities in jeopardy, compromise critical Ukrainian supply routes, and bring Russia closer to its stated aim of seizing the entire Donetsk region. The Ukrainian army retreated from a northeastern area in the town of Nazar Voloshin, the spokesman for the Khortytsia Ground Forces Formation said. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of people in Northern California have been ordered to evacuate as wildfires grow across the state amid a heat wave. Around 28,000 people were told to leave their homes after the Thompson fire broke out this week, according to reports citing the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, CAL FIRE. Dangerously hot, dry, and windy weather is expected to continue, with the National Weather Service predicting the temperatures could reach 118 Fahrenheit, and that's 47 degrees Celsius, in some areas early next week. The city of Oroville, near where the Thompson fire started, cancelled its 4th of July fireworks celebration, and officials warned residents not to use fireworks to avoid the risk of starting blazes. Fire season started recently in California and usually runs until October. The size and intensity of fires in the state have grown in recent years. The amount of burned areas in the summer in northern and central California increased 5 times from 1996 to 2021 compared to the 24-year period before, which scientists have attributed to human-caused climate change. In other news, Hurricane Beryl ripped off roofs in Jamaica, jumbled fishing boats in Barbados, and damaged or destroyed 95% of homes on a pair of islands in St. Vincent and the Grenadines before rumbling towards the Cayman Islands and taking aim at Mexico's Caribbean coast after leaving at least 7 dead in its wake. What had been the earliest storm to develop into a Category 5 hurricane in the Atlantic weakened slightly but remains a major hurricane. Its eye was forecast to pass just south of the Cayman Islands overnight. Mexico's popular Caribbean coast prepared shelters evacuated some small outlying coastal communities and even moved sea turtle eggs off beaches threatened by storm surge. But in nightlife spots like Playa del Carmen and Tulum, tourists still took one more night on the town. Mexico's Navy patrolled areas like Tulum, telling tourists in Spanish and English to prepare for the storm's arrival. Early in the morning, the storm center was 800 kilometers east-southeast of Tulum, Mexico. It had maximum sustained winds of 205 kilometers per hour and was moving west-northwest at 32 kilometers per hour. Beryl was forecast to make landfall in a sparsely populated area of lagoons and mangroves south of Tulum in the early hours of Friday, probably as a Category 2 storm. Coming up is entertainment and sports stories. Please stay with us.
news on the street,
We go to bed empty hunger.
to the blaring horns of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people. Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Well, start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered. Showing from 7 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now in entertainment, Vanessa Hudgens has given birth to her first child with husband Cole Tucker. The High School Musical actress, who is 35 years of age, revealed her pregnancy at the Oscars in March when she arrived in a bump-hugging black gown. Hudgens was spotted leaving a hospital in Santa Monica, California on Wednesday. She was being pushed to a waiting car in a wheelchair as she cradled her newborn. On the same day, Hudgens had posted on her Instagram wishing her husband a happy birthday as he turned 28. Also, David and Victoria Beckham have recreated their iconic throne wedding scene to celebrate their 25th wedding anniversary. The couple shared photos on Instagram dressed in the matching purple ensembles they wore as their second outfit on the big day back in 1999. The former England footballer and Spice Girl married on July 4th, 1999 in Luttrell's Town Castle in Ireland in front of an intimate audience of 29 guests, followed by a massive star-studded bash. One of the recreated photos showed them sitting in the crushed velvet purple thrones that featured on their wedding day and which quickly became part of 90s pop culture history. And now in sports, Wimbledon craves Murray Magic Djokovic in action. Andy Murray launches his Wimbledon farewell alongside his brother Jamie in the men's doubles today as Novak Djokovic and Iga Swiatek target the third round. Murray, the champion in 2013 and 2016, was desperate for one last crack at the singles, but ran out of time after recent surgery to remove a spinal cyst. The British former world number one still has a chance to wave goodbye to his adoring fans in both the men's doubles and mixed doubles as he treads the turf for a final time, 19 years after his Wimbledon debut. Murray is a three-time Grand Slam singles champion, but has form in the doubles, teaming up with Jamie to help Britain win the 2015 Davis Cup. The Murrays will face Australian pair Rinky Hijikata and John Pearce today, with the decibel count expected to soar. Andy Murray is also scheduled to play mixed doubles with British compatriot and former US Open champion Emma Raducanu. Erik ten Hag has signed a contract extension that keeps him at Old Trafford until 2026, the Premier League club had announced earlier today. There had been intense speculation over the Dutchman's future after a poor 2023/24 Premier League campaign, but he guided the club to FA Cup success against Manchester City. It was widely leaked in the British media last month that after a review by the club's new part owner, British billionaire Jim Ratcliffe, ten Hag will be staying at the club. The former Ajax manager, whose deal had been due to expire in 2025, admitted there was work to be done to close the gap on United's Premier League rivals. And that's a wrap on today's World News on VOP TV. I am Sumtu Ajamma.